There you go. Just pop a little hole at the top where the first book is, so they can be in the book in the bag still. Yeah. Whoa.
She's pretty.
Look at that there. Let's see that cover.
That cover is so full. What? Oh, look at me.
Hey, baby girl. You sure cute for a big girl. You got more thighs than Popeyes. Heavy like a Chevy, thick in the waist, cute in the face. You be a catch if you just lose a little weight. Compliments pass like daggers passed off as praise. In reality, you sound like a complete ass, ignorant and careless with words. Please stop talking with a good Lord split you. They're not compliments at all, just degraded backhanded shots of being called a fat bitch. Images that I would never be. You know that thin runway model that's a size -3. That's all I
The most important messages that you think that you portray in your poetry?
That you can make it. I can make it. The dreams are supposed to be followed. Don't let anybody deter you. And follow your purpose. Bottom line. That's the most important thing.
So let's be real for a moment, right? Because Black hit me up and said, we just gonna do it. We gonna do it on our own. We're not gonna have somebody else invite us. We just gonna book some places and do this tour. And some people may say, who the fuck are you to go on tour? What's your response to that?
I'm me. And I got a message just like everybody else has a message. I just decided to do it on my own. I didn't need the validation from anybody to say, okay, I wrote this book and I need to get on tour. Well, first of all, I'm not gonna write a book that's gonna be sitting on the shelf collecting dust. And that's not shade to nobody, because I believe that everybody who writes, who's an author, deserves that type of viewership. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't all about that, and it was more about getting poets like Shocky and Angel Kim on the road and moving, because they're dope as fuck, doing things in the community.
It was a thought, maybe I could, maybe I couldn't, maybe I could ask somebody, maybe I could share it. And I tell everybody, if you have a dream, write it on a postcard, put it in the hallway, so every time you pass it, it'll yell at you.
Yeah.
Then you put it in the bathroom, so every time you brush your teeth, it'll speak to you.
I often find myself preparing for battle, training for an enemy I'll never see. Lightning working its way through veins, when anxiety and doubt are too heavy for this tongue, asking God to poet me back to health. I need therapy, someone to talk to. Tired of being a fire-breathing misfit.
I want you to define what poetry is to you.
Motion. Everything that isn't normal. Everything that isn't society. Release. Sanity. Impact. Community. That's what poetry means to me.
We've gotten a lot of questions on the road in regards to branding, merchandise, logos, things like that. Where most of your ideas come from? You got the Indeed logo, which you say all the time. For other creatives out there, and I say this, I do have a degree in marketing. your brand and your logo, a lot of people freak out about that, right? Because they think it needs to be perfect. And the truth is, your logo could be anything, right? It could be a circle. And as long as you market it correctly and you can make it recognizable to people and you're constantly getting it in people's faces, is what makes it part of your brand. So like his Indeed, anytime someone sees the Indeed logo, they know it's him because he's constantly saying it. He puts it in his promotion, he puts it on, tags it in his posts, says it when he's on stage. Anything can be a logo or representative of your brand. And I just wanted to say that because a lot of people get real caught up in making sure that's perfect. Our tour logo is not perfect. I'm not a graphic design person, but people see it and they know that it has to go with our tour because it mixes the symbols from his book, like he stated. So for creatives, I just wanted to say that just take a chance on it, right? Find something that represents you. If you think about like Target, right? All they have is a little red circle, the bullseye, but everyone knows what that motherfucker is. So you don't need some extravagant design. As much as we want to support other artists, if you have a friend that does it, obviously support them. But if you don't have the money, sometimes just, something little, your initials, can be a logo until you get to a point where you can build on your brand better. We're on this tour to promote both of our books. We went 2 very different ways of getting our books published. Tell me about your experience publishing. You went with Not Just Alphabets. I'm answering my own question. You tell people.
I went with Not Just Alphabets, AJ Houston's company, because I knew that he would be very meticulous about what I wanted and what I needed in my book, because everything was intentional. Everything was on purpose, from the cover design to the visuals within the book to the poems that were picked. I also went with him because he's not tunnel vision type of person. I like to think outside the box, so we looked at different things that we could do to make sure that the book didn't sit on the shelf and that it was more accessible to the people. So that's why we went the route that we went, and I believe that it's working out fantastically.
But I do want to tell you guys, if you're just starting out, it's fine to just have a chapbook, okay? That's something that people didn't tell me. Taking a couple pages, folding them in half and sticking them together is just fine when you're first starting out, selling for $5, $10, just to get your work out there. Because you're not going to, I don't want to put you down, but most of the time you're not going to have your bestseller be your first book. The second book, for both of us, originally I went the self-publishing route, which was fine, right? And what happened was I let people get in my head and tell me you had to have an officially published book, that self-publishing wasn't good enough. But I think that it is a viable option for people who don't have the money or the notoriety to do other ways. It's cheaper, and it allows you to set your own price. It allows you to have full control over everything. But you do lose some of those extra services like a cover artist, unless you know someone, or editing services. And like Black said, he sat down with AJ and they had conversations and they worked through it together. You kind of lose that in self-publishing. But then again, once your career has moved on, you still want to move on to even bigger publishers, because it's going to change your profit margin, but also get you in front of a lot of different people. And, paying $6 per book to print when you're going to sell to 5,000 people is different than when you're not sure if you're going to get anyone to buy something at an open mic. So just make sure you calculate the risk, because poverty, and I've been saying this a lot this week, a lot of creativity gets stifled by poverty. And I want you to talk about the price of purpose, especially while we're sitting here. We are on a 6-hour layover in Toledo till our next bus. So let's talk about the price of purpose.
This the price, baby. See, the thing is that we all have dreams, we all have goals, we all have a purpose in life. And all of those things come with a price. All of those things come with struggles that we have to go through, with bills that we have to pay, with sickness, with broken relationships, with broken relationships and all of that. And I just believe that you have to be ready to pay that price to not give up. There is no such thing. I don't believe in certain things, and I don't say certain things or put certain things in my vocabulary because I don't want to be stifled, and I don't want to stifle the people around me. I don't want to put them in a chokehold because I want everybody around me to be great. I want everybody around me to move forward.